Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. You already know what time it is. First and foremost, shout out to Sydney, shout out to Evelyn, shout out to everybody, man, who tapped in the minute we started streaming earlier this morning to the open mic and being with us right now. The show earlier was phenomenal. The one this morning was phenomenal. This is a little touchy, extremely sensitive. We got a lot to unpack here, man. A lot. And I just want you to understand, I don't take this for granted. I hope that none of us take this walk for granted, even though we do tend to forget sometimes. It's a lot that I want to say. My condolences, first and foremost, to the family. Nobody should be burying someone that's just trying to do their job. This is going to be extremely sensitive. It's going to come off kind of brash at some points. I can only imagine. I know my mouth, and I got to be blunt and honest. But it's the truth, and we have to be completely transparent about this, because the young lady who committed this crime, I don't know what she was on, but I can understand the anger. But there's some other things happening with this chick. that just wasn't sitting well. And on the flip side, with the lady that had a whole family at home, she can't go back to them. How did we get here? You know what I'm saying? How does someone end up in this position at a McDonald's? I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I've done over the last couple of weeks at least 4 different stories. I've covered at least 4. All of them restaurant related activities, stabbings, shootings, all similar. It always came back to the employee, employer, or someone working with each other on the same job, crashing out on another person. McDonald's, KFC, Popeyes, and I can't even remember the other one. All of them fast food joints. So there's got to be a correlation. It's not a coincidence, man. People are really unstable. And so when you go outside of your house, you take that deep breath and that fresh air, and you get ready to start your work week, and you get ready to walk away from your loved ones. Put things into perspective. Things that you're angry about, bitter about. What's weighing heavy on your heart, on your soul. Really consider your mindset when you step out of that door. You cross that threshold and you get ready to embark on your day. Things like this shouldn't happen. It should never get to this point. Unfortunately, it does. That's the world that we live in. Everybody is not wired the same. And that's the disappointing part. It's not the fact that everyone is supposed to be the same. It's the fact that folks don't know how to regulate their emotions. Oh, it's a lot to unpack. Between how our employers and people that get this position of power abuse it, to the understaffing, to the way you get treated as a worker, to the level of violence that we've reached, to the fact that no one is learning how to resolve these conflicts without someone losing their life. Oh, it's a lot. It is absolutely a lot. And I think right now, at this point in life, as a culture, as men and women that turn on the computer, turn our phones on, and scroll social media, and we see these things, we need to be more open and honest about the conditions that we are living in. What's going on, man?
We back. Salute. This the main event right here, man. This is a very, very sensitive topic. And I know you kind of went into it a little, but this right here, it's a straight shaking my head moment, man. We got to do better. And you did get one thing right. It is a lot to unpack in this one, and we're gonna peel the layers back tonight.
initial thoughts when you first hear the story?
Man, when it first came across to me, when I first seen that, and I think I saw a clip of the actual action of it. I saw a brief clipping of that. It was brutal, bro. I found out more details as it went in. It was tough. That's a tough scene. I mean, I heard of incidences that I think somebody had gotten shot. Somebody had gotten shot inside of a McDonald's in the line, a customer getting shot. I heard about that before. I heard about the Popeyes, with the managers outside. Meet me outside. And he shot him outside the Popeyes. So fast food is where most teenagers get their start, bro. We ain't gotta downplay it and say it's only McDonald's or Popeyes. It's the fast food business. We can name Checkers. You can name Taco Bell. It's an anger in there, and it's a lot of animosity when you go up in these establishments. If you ever ordered food, if you ever went to a register and told somebody your order before, it's no way you could tell me that you ain't feel the energy in the room, that you ain't feel the animosity, you ain't feel the frustration amongst the workers there. Because I experienced that in a lot of establishments. And it ain't got nothing to do with the customer. It got something to do with the workers there. And you don't know what they dealing with back there. So when you go up in these places, people, you got to read the room. Maybe you don't need to order your food that night or that day. Go somewhere else. Because I think when people get along in environments, they tend to do a better job. I think they do. I think they do a better job working around each other and getting along. The effort is there more. But when you got all that animosity and that anger, yeah, something needs to be done about that. And it's a lot of that goes on in these fast food businesses. Oh, let me put another one out there, Waffle House. Now, I know a lot of people saw fights and everything that go on in that Waffle House. So, yeah, it's a known fact that these fast foods, even though the food, some of these places be good, it breeds a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger in them places.
Just a few minutes ago, I said, like, I've already covered at least 4 stories, bro. 4. All of them are fast food related. And my thing is, at some point, you got to know that there is a problem with the person. It's a problem with the personnel. It's a problem with the people that are in these positions of authority. And obviously something is not being done because it keeps happening. It's like a reoccurring thing. Now, the clip that I got here, this is the young lady that's expressing her frustrations. And I got to be unbiased completely. You did say something that I'm going to acknowledge at some point too. But she goes in and expresses a little bit of her frustration and anger. I don't have the other clip, the one where she's speaking about her and her guy friend. But this one right here, if you've never worked at it, you don't even have to have experience in fast food this is at any job for real. You'll know what the hell she's talking about. We've all had one of these people at some point. So I'm gonna bring this up and then we can proceed with the discussion, but that shit is sad, man. Hold on.
It's terrible sad.
Let me go ahead and rock this clip out.
Telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in this store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. Man, I got shit I got to take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. All that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, you know, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all. And then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that.
And I know I won't be tolerating that. So since they decided to bully me, let the universe show them what's next. Because it wasn't right. And there will be hell to pay for that.
I'm just a product of the cricket onyx. Told him Nick the balls had him just appalled. Did so many things that pissed him.
I can't play the MM shit. They'll fuck around and demonetize me and all, and so I had to cut that shit short. But yeah, bro, she mad as shit. She said bullying, bad energy, all that. Does that not sound familiar to you? Has not one person here got up on a Monday morning and said to themselves, damn, I gotta go into this fucking place. I gotta deal with this shit again. Here we go. You gotta pray before you get out the car. You gotta pray before you get in the car. You gotta pray on the way to work. You gotta pray for your patients. You gotta pray that they leave you the fuck alone. Tell me not one person has ever experienced that before. We gotta really be honest here, man. A lot of these jobs do treat their employees like shit. And they don't care. Niggas spend their whole life working for people. You don't get appreciated for it. You barely get elevated in your career. Someone's always getting looked over. You're always doing more than you should be. It's always this weird ass energy. Like it's a lot, man. It's a whole fucking lot. And so some people find a way to balance out the bullshit that they deal with on a regular basis, and other people can't. We got bills, we got families. You can't afford to live nowhere anymore. Everything is expensive as shit. The pressure is constantly on you. You have to work. You have to have every minute and every hour. You can't be short. One check ain't cutting it. No, damn well McDonald's ain't paying like that. So you know for sure you can't afford to be getting shorted out of any time that you get. So we need to figure out something. Two things. One, there needs to be a protocol where the employee should always feel comfortable enough to express their frustrations about the job. I don't give a shit if you're a manager or a supervisor. You have the duty to perform as well. Your performance might be different than mine. I might be flipping burgers and fries, but you still got a job to do as a supervisor. And if you're not living up to your description or your title, I have the right to express how I feel about your performance, whether it's to you, corporate, or anybody else. And I shouldn't be penalized or isolated or punished for it. On another note, the woman who lost her life, I don't know what type of relationship she had with her staff, but it doesn't really sound pleasant. I'm not going to hold you. I feel bad that she's not here anymore, but we're not going to sit here and act as if this shit right here wasn't fueled by some type of anger and rage. You don't just stab somebody 7 times and there wasn't an issue.
I thought it was more than that.
From the reports that I heard, it was 7. Now, if it was more, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll yield the mic for there. I don't want to go too deep yet. I want you to get your thoughts off.
I mean, I hear you when it comes to the frustration in the work environment. Yeah, we all go through it. We adults, but that's a part of being an adult. You know, we all go through it, but it's how you handle it, man. I think when it comes to a management or whatever like that, they have to have a good working relationship with their employees for everything to function and like with this situation with the McDonald's, so everything can run smoothly. Like I just expressed, you can just read the room. You know what I'm saying? If the environment ain't there, you don't have to hear the argument like how these two had. These two had a verbal argument, and it got tragic. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, you can express yourself without it being, you know what I'm saying, coming off as disrespect. Because at the end of the day, you know, no matter what position you in a work environment, we're all adults. At the end of the day, we all got to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? We all got to live. We got stuff to do. So that's why people have meetings. It's a certain thing called you know, you got staff meetings and stuff like that. People can express themselves. People can hit them with the one-on-one. You know, go up in there and let her folks know, you know, look, I don't appreciate you sending me home, because that's what it was about. She's sending her home, shortening her hours. She can't do what she got to do. Now, on the flip, you can't expect that manager to know what's going on with you personally if you're not expressing that to her, because she got a life too. That manager did not deserve to lose her life. Period. Let's drop the bomb. Put that on the table. That's especially for some McDonald's hours. Really, when you could have easily, it's a fast food business. You know what I'm saying? You can easily go get hired at Burger King and see if you can have it your way over there. You know what I'm saying? This right here was senseless. You played a little bit of the videos that if you check out her TikTok videos, that's the bus right there. The shit was premeditated. You know, she didn't drooled on what she was going to do for a little bit, and it's all on social media. So that's how you get caught these days. Premeditation. Then you come in there and strike her. You see what I'm saying? Hitting her over and over. You know what I'm saying? Because you, going back to the adult thing, that 26-year-old that's serving probably life, she didn't develop the emotional maturity to have a decent conversation with that manager to get more hours, or, you know, whatever. That manager probably didn't know nothing about her personal situation, why she was crying about them hours like that. Because that's what it was about. She mad that she ain't get her hours, and that means low money and all that. And at the end of the day, get another job. You know what I'm saying? Or get a second job. You're an adult, and she didn't have the emotional intelligence to go in there and express that to the manager without being senseless and hateful and vengeful and all that. She didn't know how to do all that. And it's a place for you. You see what I'm saying? That manager, on the other hand, she had a nice, been there for 15 years, real credible. Kids, you know what I'm saying? Been coming to work. You know what I'm saying? As far as the staff go, the employees, you go through a lot of different people in the fast food business. You see what I'm saying? She could be replaced just like that. But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to the work environment, it's not about the supervisor or the employee. It ain't about the title that you possess. It's about the person that represents the title. It's self over title, man. You know, you can get anybody to do anything, and that don't mean they're gonna do it the same way just because they got a position, or this is what that's not what it means. The person makes the title. So if that manager, going back to that manager, if that manager did not have a good work relationship with her employees, that's called leadership. That mean maybe the food wasn't getting made and people wasn't doing their job correctly. You know, she's supposed to be the motivator to make sure everybody on point and everybody's consistently doing their job. Now, if you at the job and you trying to post, because mind you, youngins be trying to do that, make a TikTok post and all that at work. You supposed to be working, and if she sent you home for that, that's your fault. That's your fault. That means you don't want to make no money today. You want to go make videos. You want to be all on the blog. So hey, go home and do that. But you can't blame somebody for your actions, for something that you did. You see what I'm saying? It's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And she clearly missed that by a long shot.
Mental health does not get the respect that it really deserves. A lot of us need to seek help professionally. We need to pray. We need to go to church. We need to be baptized. We need to be cleansed of all types of filth and wickedness and all types of crap. The way that the government got this shit wired, we are slaves. We are destined to work until we no longer got anybody to rely on. Our bodies are going to give out. We ain't going to be able to stand. We're not going to be able to talk very well. Our knees ain't going to be worth nothing. You just stuck paying bills, doing extra, doing this, doing that. All this to make sure that they don't kick you out or turn your lights off. Meanwhile, you go into other countries and you're just like, damn, why did I wait so long to get the fuck from over here? The pressure that we are under has turned people into inconsiderate, rude, power hungry individuals, men and women that are in these positions. The leadership is absent. It's clear as day. Because if your employees were happy, we wouldn't get to this point. Now, the truth of the matter is, it don't really make a difference how good of a supervisor you are. So you got folks that are lazy as hell. They don't want to do nothing. They put more of the work on the people who really work hard and take credit for their work. They slack. And if you allow it, they just getting a free check while everybody else busting their ass. I don't know if that was the case here. I do agree. Communication was not existent. Well, let me rephrase that. I think the supervisor knew that this woman was going through some stuff, and I've met women like her, supervisors. That is, I've met supervisors like that. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about nothing you got going on. How I know? She said one word: bully. You know, they throw on extra work on you. They make you do extra shit that they wouldn't do to everybody else. Little sly remarks. They don't know how to be professional. They talk shit about their own workers. All that extra unnecessary. You ain't supposed to be doing that. But I say this: if the young lady felt the way that she felt so strongly, why didn't she just go over her head? Go talk to somebody else. That's what corporate is for. That number. Yeah, why didn't you use that? I swear I swear, black people are the most intelligent, but the most dense people, because with all that knowledge and all that wisdom and shit, you would rather give in to your carnal desires and your anger and your fleshly provinces versus actually, I don't know, doing things logical, using a pen, a paper, an email. Y'all think everything needs to result in violence or yelling, burnouts. Social media don't help. You get on here and you start venting, people are gonna egg you on. They're gonna be like, man, fuck that bitch. Whoop her ass. People are gonna get on here and troll you and be the catalyst for your you you go on here to vent. By the time you get off, you're worse off than you was when you got on, because the people are just so fucking insensitive, man. Yeah, we all relate. We've all dealt with shitty ass bosses and so on and so forth. How do you handle it is what's important. The supervisor, if she felt a certain type of way about the young lady, the way that she handled it, was it the most ideal? You got to know your workers. I don't think she really had much respect for her workers. But I digress. I yield the mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this on the manager. There's no excuse for her to should I say be a bit childish if it came to, with her staff or whatever like that. It's okay to be a little playful and stuff with your staff and stuff like that. But you gotta remember, as long as we getting the job done, if we getting the job done, there's nothing wrong with that. And then you got to be able to know that you got to build relationships with these people. These people you going to war with every day. Y'all going in there to take care of business. So there's nothing wrong with that if you have that type of relationship, a type of understanding. The girl, we should have got her name on here, but the girl that's went to jail, the 26-year-old, she's saying stuff like the manager say she might need to take her belt off like she do her kids with some of them in there, stuff like that. Was mentioned. Now, my thing is, you're not the only one that's in there working, Miss Lady. So, I could see if she came and said that to her directly. So I think she, took that out of place, out of pocket with that. She still shouldn't have mentioned it, but I just think she took it the wrong way, of course, and it kind of spiraled from there. And then she sent her home. You might got, I've been on jobs where they talk about man hours, like if it's slow that day, like say for instance, business not popping as much as as it's supposed to be or whatever, they send somebody home. Last one to come on or whatever, you get sent home, to cut down on the man hours. So all of that's a part of business. So she can't really, get mad about stuff like that if it's the manager's responsibility to make make certain cuts and all of that. So only thing I can say is, man, is that we got to do better. It was like we got to stop like hating on one another, hating each other, man. That's not how we should have handled that. And then when you get this type of situation, the way it happened, she went in there with some rage, right? She got sent home again, so she came back with some rage. She came with a weapon. It was deliberate, you know what I'm saying? And she attacked the lady. You had somebody that's seen. I think they said one of the customers or whatever sort of attack happening, and they shot off a shot with their gun. They tried to shoot the shot to try to scare the woman, but the woman didn't stop. Then he held her at gunpoint. What was said till the police arrived and they took her into custody. My thing is, okay, I heard you bring up about mental health, and mental health is real, but it's just crazy to me that mental health only applies on certain situations. You know what I'm talking about? Like this situation right here, they're not looking at no mental health. This is pretty much, even though it happened in a work environment, This is pretty much black on black crime. She went in there and stabbed that woman, and that lady lost her life, mother of 6. And that 26-year-old gonna probably spend the rest of her life in jail. The bond is so high, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So this was like an open and shut joint. It didn't happen. It didn't take too long to make these decisions with these people. But if you flip the script, you know what I'm saying? We talked about it before with the Austin and Carmelo. It wasn't no they not bringing up no mental health. That wasn't. I don't think that was like this. When I look at stuff like that, the way it happened, I don't think it was this way. The way this happened, she had the ability to leave that establishment. She went and got what she got, and came back and did what she did with the intentions. So I just think everything should be looked at carefully, and when it's come down to this judgment, I think the judgment should be a little different. Keep in mind, with the Carmelo, he only hit my man one time. She hit this woman, like you said, 6, 7 times. That's like you said, it's personal. She took what she said to her and the argument that they had, she took it personal. And that's the result you got. So I just think that when it comes down to the justice piece, you know, we need to look at the details a little more harder, and we shouldn't be so quick to make a decision on one end and then take too long to make it on the other end. I think every situation different, but you know, the judgment need to be a little bit more, you know, equal. You got it.
25 million is the bond set for her. No, she not getting out. I want my brothers and sisters out there to understand something. You can't allow the outside world to control you. We walk around flexing our muscles and our money, and we live as if we are in full control. And we're in full control until we are tested and tried. And when it comes to conflict, we are horrible at de-escalating the potential for something worse to happen. You're standing in front of something that are consisting of nothing more than words, but you allow words to transition into something deeper. You're conditioned to hate your own race. You're conditioned to believe that everything has to be met with equal force. That's a complete lie. You measure and weigh the spirit and the heart, and then you decide and determine from that if what you are waging is worth the risk. We have put brothers, we have put sisters, in jail and in the grave over things that later on we would wish we could take back. But you got it stuck in your head that everything has to be handled like it's a hood or a Tubi movie. So somebody rob you, you got to rob them back. If somebody disrespects you, you got to fight every single body that disrespects you. If things ain't going the way you want them to go on a job, well, look at where we at. All these black people killing each other over words because you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to look bad in front of your crew or your friends and peers. You don't want to look bad or feel embarrassed in front of that woman you're trying to impress all the time. Or you just feel so invisible because you have that position that you can just step on people. Like she said, it goes both ways. The manager here, God rest her soul, playing devil's advocate, if she was innocent, if she was a decent person and she wasn't as shitty as this woman describes, there's no outcome where I could see this happening. And this woman is just off her meds or something. If this woman was really like that, which is what I'm leaning towards, she just had a horrible character and she rubbed people the wrong way. I'm not rationalizing it, but see, you're not dealing with a million yous. You're not dealing with a million similar personality traits. You're dealing with someone who is completely opposite of you, unpredictable, don't know how to regulate any part of their being, and you're playing with fire. There's not a single job on this planet that's going to make me crash out like that. I'll leave. I will fucking leave the job before you ever get to me that much. Or I will take it over your head and let them deal with it. I'm not about to do that. I'm not risking my freedom over you. And if I know I need help, I'm going to get help for myself, not for you or nobody else. Because why? I might be the key denominator in why my relationships with my co-workers aren't the way they should be. I need to be better for me. Has nothing to do with you specific. So it's disappointing that I keep seeing this. Give me a time and day where you see black people have a disagreement and they don't end up fighting, or on the job or off the job. Let me see something else. Can we do anything else outside of fight and shoot? People's attitudes are horrible, man. They stink. You can't just talk to people the way you want to. The difference with the Carmelo thing and this, this is black on black. But this is so regular. What do you say to that shit? I yield.
Yeah, man. See, the way I look at it, man, when she got on there and spoke about the manager bullying, she's a bully and stuff like that. If you listen to what she was saying, okay, and the way she was putting it out there, she was saying this manager was speaking like that with all the employees. She never said anything directly to her except for, you need to go home. She sent her home. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to add up all this stuff that this manager was saying because she's shorting your hours. So like let's put that together. Let's make that make sense. You mad that she sent you home, but yet and still you say she's a bully. She says this and that while we're working and all of that. So you got to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? You can't say on one hand that she's a bully and she's saying all this negative stuff to y'all, but yet and still you taking my hours. You want those hours though. You cried about that. You want to be in that environment though. You see what I'm saying? So you can't say all that stuff on one end and then on the other end cry about not being there. But you get mad at stuff that she say while you're there. Like, make that make sense. The lady wasn't saying it directly to her. That's another thing. And even if she was, once again, we're all grown at the end of the day. It's been stuff said to myself that I might didn't appreciate or I didn't like. And it was a way to handle it. Now, me personally, I'm gonna address my issues with that person. Like, it don't need to be a big crowd or nothing like that. I'm not with all that. If I got an issue with you, then we'll step aside and talk about it like adults so we can get that straight. I don't look at positions and stuff like that. We're grown, and just like you want me to come in here and respect you my boss or whatever the title is or whatever. That's what I expect from you, and I'm the employee. We are adults, and we're going to act like it on all levels. Now, that lady got 15 years at that McDonald's, bro. 15. I highly doubt that 26-year-old had a lot of experience. Most likely she didn't. That's why she's a straight crash out. And if you got somebody that got 15 under their belt, you mean to tell me that corporate, people that run them McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, the people that got these establishments will have someone in there that long? If it was so bad, like she said it on these videos, was it so bad or was it just bad for you? We need to put that on the table. Was it that bad or was it just bad for that woman? Because I mean, it ain't like everybody was riding with her. You know what I'm saying? So she probably just had a problem. And most likely what it boils down to, bro, is She had a problem in her personal life. I'm talking about the 26-year-old. Like we all do. When we go to work, we go to these work environments. And you got to deal with it the best way you can deal with it for you. Everybody got problems. Everybody. Like I said, we might not have the same exact problems, but we got issues. And like she said, she did say one thing on there, nobody's perfect. Yeah, we're not perfect. So why it wouldn't have hurt her none less to go to a more experienced. She's been there for 15 years. That's your manager. She could have went to that manager and had a conversation with her about her. You know what I'm saying? And could have got some solution that way, or some understanding about that manager that way, instead of letting all that animosity build up and lash out the way she did. She didn't have no understanding. She just went out in rage. She didn't handle herself properly. And that's the way it should have been handled. She could have said, well, maybe stuff ain't working out here for you, but I can send you there. Maybe it'll work out over there for you. I mean, it's ways around stuff so you can feel a little bit better, and you ain't got to make so many of them videos about you complaining about this, that, and the third in a work environment that at the end of the day, you ain't got to go. Just quit. If it's that horrible, or let's just say the manager was that horrible to her, then quit. You see what I'm saying? Either quit or you be an adult about it and make the best of your situation until you move on. I mean, everybody been in those shoes. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna give her a cop out. I seen some people posting it was okay for what she did. These jobs be tripping. You gotta handle yourself accordingly. You see what I'm saying? It's other ways she could have did it as an adult, and she chose to do it that way. And once again, Black lives don't matter. Again, it's on the table. Then you got that's another example of what we be talking about. She gone, mother of 6. Everybody looking at that on the news, looking at her family, looking at their pain. We don't get the same support. We don't. Don't nobody really feel bad about it for real. You know what I'm saying? But when it's on the other foot, you know what I'm saying? Like I brung up with the Carmelo because of the bully aspect. I'm getting bullied, like she said. Now all of a sudden, you got a right to defend yourself. That woman ain't never put her hands on her. She never put her hands on her. And at the worst case scenario of whatever she was going through or frustrated with that manager, the worst case scenario is me and you. I'm tired. She could have said, "Look, I'm tired of your shit." Blah blah. I seen that happen at jobs. We can go ahead out here and just shoot this fade, man. And then I know I'm fired after that. We can get it off our chest real quick, and we'll roll out like that. May the best woman win. You ain't gotta bring no weapon or nothing, and that just get that off your chest and go on about your business. If it was that bad, worst case scenario, but it didn't play out like that. So now she ruined her life, and she ruined the lady kid's life, because that lady was taken away way too soon. The lady was only 39 years old. She did 15 in that McDonald's. So ain't nobody, corporate not gonna let you stand that long if you're doing something horrible. It's not gonna happen. Somebody out of 15 years, somebody would have damn sure came for her head. You don't stay in an establishment that long if you that horrible. You got it.
Nobody's questioning that. In fact, the only way that a person can maintain that type of position is if they are good at their job. But being that good means that there's some things that come with you that might not be so flattering. Could this young lady have just been lazy, making up excuses? Who knows? What could have made the supervisor say, "I'm cutting your time short"? Who knows? The way that she was describing it was like, "I'm trying to make up for hours that you took from me, and you still playing around with my money." Either way, like I said, I don't care what job you're on. You don't like what's happening there, go to somebody who can change what's going on, or prepare yourself to leave that and go somewhere where you're going to be better appreciated. Y'all need to stop making excuses for your degeneracy. Just say you want to be able to be wild and free, not be checked or be held accountable, and everybody is supposed to just be okay with you terrorizing people. Just say that. Nah. The young lady could have went to another location. She does Instacart. She could have left McDonald's, transferred, went to another field of work. There's always an option. That's the point. There's always an option. But a lot of times we like to go with what we feel. And what you feel essentially just wants you to do reckless and dumb stuff. Ultimately, it doesn't really get you very far, ever. Anger doesn't get you very far. Doesn't get you far with conversations with your partners. It doesn't get you very far in business. Doesn't get you very far in life in general. This was handled poorly. Go ahead.
Now I was just gonna ask you a question. Um, I'm trying to see something real quick. In your opinion, in your honest opinion, with the young girl, because we seen her make these videos obsessively. Um, she came in there with a mask on. That mask was creepy. It was real serious. She came up in there with the mask. Um, at that point, she blanked out and did what she did. If you look at the videos and look at what she did, her actions, do you believe, in your opinion, that young woman would have did the same thing if that manager was white?
I don't think it would have went that way. And what I mean is, I don't even believe that it would have gotten as far as her needing to assault the woman. The way black people handle their positions of power and the way that white people handle their positions are completely different. And I'm around them a lot. They don't yell and curse at you and call you nigger and all that shit. They don't do all that. These white boys and these white women, they ain't calling you out of your name in your face and being disrespectful. And they're not doing that. They will smile. They will grin at you. They would say, "Hi there," and oh, you had me there. They be on that. They be on that type of shit. They be on that type of shit. And then you get to Friday or you get to the next following day, your ass done got written up. You done had an email sent about you. You done got pulled over to the side to the office. Or we had complaints that you did this and did that and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. They not about to sit there and get involved in your foolishness because they already look at us like y'all are reckless. Y'all don't know how to control yourself. So you are the type that's going to put yourself in jail. I'm just going to sit back and watch you do the dumb shit. You're going to walk into the trap on your own. White people don't have to do this at all. So I don't think it would have gotten that far. She would have got in trouble if it was like that serious.
So what you're saying is you don't think that the white manager would have sent her home like the black manager?
No.
Because let's keep it real. We're gonna keep it real because we on them lines. I heard you say they don't act the same and all that. We get all that. We know that. We know they're not gonna talk the same. We know they're not gonna say some of the stuff that she described, but we're not gonna sit up here and say that they don't have their own lingo that's out of fucking line on the job, because they do. I observed that. And most of the time it's that entitlement shit. So yeah, she could have sent her home, and no, she wouldn't have came back with that weapon when it's a white manager. You see what I'm saying? So I agree with that part. And it's sad that is the way it is, but that goes to show you that we more enraged towards each other. Like we said, it's a black on black crime. We'll show that anger. We'll show that violence. You see what I'm saying? We'll show that violence towards each other because we come from the same struggle. But if you flip the script and change that black manager to a white manager, then we got to do it another way. We think a little bit better. We think. Why we can't use that same method with each other? So you ain't gonna crash out when it's the other way around. You're gonna slow the hell up. But you about to get the same. You about to get a mean time on your helmet. But you didn't hesitate at all to get that whatever you was feeling off your chest. You say she was feeling some type of way. So whatever she was feeling, she acted it out. But she would have got them feelings in check if it was the other way around. She wouldn't have carried it out. So I'm just saying the reason why I bring that up that way is because that proves my point that it was another way she could have handled it. Because if she would have slowed up and didn't do the same act with that white manager as a black manager, then your ass could have walked in that room and had that conversation like an adult and resolved the issue without taking it there. That's bullshit, and that was real fucked up. What happened? I'm gonna say that was uncalled for.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I did the reaction a black woman was going off on her white supervisors, or either they were supervisors or they were just white coworkers, and she was pissed. She was mad as shit because she felt like they were screwing people over. They were reusing food. Uh, they weren't really working hard at all. She was pissed. But even old girl, when she was going off, I'm gonna upload it this week. Even when she was going off, she didn't come back and stab nobody up. Like,
That's what made it personal. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? That was made it. Now they argued and all that. They said they argued and went back and forth, but at the end of the day, you should give up some type of respect. I mean, the lady is a manager. You see what I'm saying? And it's just fucked up that you would challenge that authority, but if it was on the other foot, you would probably fucking listen and just leave. That's fucked up. It's not treated the same way. So that title shit, fuck that title. That shit don't mean nothing. It's about the motherfucker behind the title. They hold the weight.
Bang, 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 bang.
The person, I'm gonna say this again. The person makes the title. For anybody who don't know, I don't give a fuck what job or whatever you looking at and think that person that you looking at makes the motherfucking title. It's not the title. The title don't make no person. It's the person make the title. Believe that, because you can be whatever position you want and be full of shit. It don't matter. So it's the person behind it, and it's just sad, man, that it would have got handled another way, man. It sure would have. It wouldn't even went that far. I agree, and that goes to show you, man. You know, there's no respect. That shit came down to respect for real, and the manager do deserve some type of respect. She is a manager, and she should have just went home.
I agree. I definitely agree. I gotta ask you this question since we are here, because I made a post and I asked the question: does Black lives really matter?
You already know the answer to that. All you got to do is look at these cases and look at the way it's being determined.
But
That shit just happened, and look where we at already. They put her ass in the courtroom and they told her what it was. That shit ain't take long at all. They locked her up, took her down there, and showed her what really matters.
But see, look, I'm not asking do white people think Black Lives Matter. I'm asking do Black people think Black Lives Matter. I'm asking do we as a human race collectively think Black Lives Matter? Because we already know that they don't really give a shit like that for real. But do we really give a shit for real? We want the ones that scream that bullshit. But look at this though.
I'm gonna say this, when the shoe was on the other foot, like with that Carmelo thing, it's fucked up. It's hard to digest what happened, man. Like going back to that people used to seeing it happen on the other side, man. Like it's like we supposed to always be the one to take the fall. But when somebody else take the fall other than us, then it's like, damn, it's not right. They was talking about the video with the school. That shit ain't even, nobody really looked at it, or they ain't see none of that shit how it happened. because it's bullshit. And do that even make sense? That thing happened it's July. Anything else? This shit just happened 2 days ago. This thing, look how viral this is. So yeah, the answer your question, man, it's obvious. The answer to it, man, because it all get overlooked. Certain stuff get overlooked. Certain stuff be judged right then and there, and it's not an equal, ship. It's not.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Black people don't give a shit about that Black Lives Matter shit.
They better care about their life because when you get up in these work environments and you just spoke on mental health, you don't know what somebody on or what somebody going through. That woman probably didn't communicate that shit because if her shit stink and her shit was that bad, why the fuck are you coming into McDonald's every day? You know what I'm saying? Go get your life together because you can't expect to work. You know what I'm saying? And your fucking mind is the way hers is. She got to get some other She need a psychiatrist, therapy. She need all that shit. She probably need to take medicine. Her motherfucking noodle is scrambled the way that look. And if it wasn't, to be honest, if it wasn't going to be the manager, it probably would have been one of them coworkers. She was probably looking for an excuse to do that, to crash out on somebody because her shit wasn't happening. And that's what people be doing. So we gotta watch out for crash outs because we don't want no accidents. You could say something slight and it can trigger a whole crash out, and you don't want that shit to crash into you. They need to crash into somebody else. So we trying to avoid accidents out here. And it ain't nothing pertaining to what you did or something dealing with you. They a whole crash out by themselves. And she just used that lady, that manager, to act out some of her frustrations and failures that she had in life. And it damn sure ain't starting at McDonald's. Believe that.
Nah, she had that in her way before then. Way before that.
Yeah, McDonald's ain't had nothing to do with that.
If y'all going through, man, open up to somebody. Don't keep that shit bottled up. If you had a different type of life and it did something to you and you know it did, open up. Life too short. Life is too valuable and precious to be ending it and losing it all because things that you got going on with you internally. You got to beat them demons. And supervisors, managers, all of y'all too. If you're familiar with this story or any of the other ones, you should be looking at this shit especially close as well because you don't know what type of mood people are in. Actually, which is funny, an engineer at my spot, they crashed out. What, like 2 weeks ago? They crashed out and got fired. But it never got to this point. Y'all gotta learn how to harmonize your staff, treat them like human beings. Y'all think that we are just machines and animals. Those meetings that you're referring to, I don't even know if them shits work.
But you can't sit back and expect nobody to read your damn mind either. Some people got a lot of shit in their mind and it's cluttered. You know what I'm saying? And they got to take responsibility for that shit. You know, you can't sit here and expect nobody to read what you going through in life. Because, like I just said, we all got problems, but we can understand the shit if you open your damn mouth and speak. But we ain't gonna figure it out for you. Nah, you gotta walk your path just like the next person. And majority of the time, what I discovered, bro, is when somebody got all that shit cluttered like that, it comes from bullshit. It comes from stuff that they didn't get done, and they the cause of their own shit. And they don't want to take responsibility for it. That's the truth. Whether people don't like it or not, that's the actual truth. People didn't really be accountable for their doings and what they should and shouldn't have did. And going back to that crash out at the McDonald's, you can feel. Listen, you can feel however you want to feel. Everybody feel bad at some point, or angry, or like you just said with your man, the engineer, a straight crash out. But you really got like a 10-second window to really put together how you want to handle it. And if people just give themselves that window, because everybody get a little a window where they can kind of put it together before they actually do the act, it'll stop them from doing it. Because once you do what you did, you can't take it back. It's over with. You got to live with them actions forever. And that's what people got to really keep in mind. Yeah, you fucked up, but it's more fucked up now what you just did. So you made going back to that 26-year-old, you just made a bad situation worse, man. It's worse. You're not getting out. That bond high as all get out. Ain't nobody putting up with that. You're done. And that was an easy determination. So we gotta think, man. We have to think because the system really want to get rid of you anyway. And all you did was make it easy for you to be erased. So now you're just gonna be a number because you couldn't have that 10 seconds to perform some self-control. At the end of the day, okay, you mad at the manager. Beat her ass, or she beat your ass, and you walk off with a L or a win, but y'all both still living. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be in the situation that you in now.
Accountability is a hell of a drug, bro. Real spill. I think this should be a lesson to everybody involved, co-workers, partners, bosses, all across the board. We need a better system. Maybe we even need to implement some type of place or location within the structure of that particular business where you guys can go and get your bars off about what's required and what's necessary for the happiness to continue to maintain the productivity within your establishments. If one thing doesn't work, the rest of it is going to fall apart. Straight up. You're only a reflection of the people that you work around. Never, ever, ever, ever should it get to a place where violence is an option. Not over no McDonald's, not over no Popeyes and no shit like that. I could understand. Well, death is not acceptable, period. But yeah, nah, she just had way more shit going on with her than her issues with that lady. She might have had issues with the lady, but based on how she was acting within the video, yeah, you can already tell that this is average behavior for her. You don't just wake up and start talking like that. You've already had that shit in you.
And not to mention, you can put it on the table when you come to these fast foods. It's the pay. The pay ain't really super duper, so you got a lot of people with some anger. It's they can't support all of their bills and stuff like that, their responsibilities with the pay that they get, the hours that they get. I get that. But you got to think about with that manager. That manager had 6 kids, bro. We got to give them a shout out on here because 15 years, that's hard, bro. Believe she was a single mother, and she taking care of all those kids with the manager position at McDonald's, bro. Come on, bro. You don't think she know what it's like? Real talk. That's hard, bro. And I mean, I'm not gonna make no excuses, but I damn sure know that 26-year-old ain't have no issues, no responsibilities like that. That's the real shit. Now she might have had some other problems, but it wasn't no pressure like that. That's pressure, bro. That's called consistency, man. 15 years. I gotta feed my kids. Like, so she had the mental capacity, and she got to deal with all these personalities too, not just hers, but everybody else that worked there. So she programmed herself to do what she had to do to take care of her responsibilities and take care of her kids, bro. Her kids was devastated, man, by this. They so used to moms coming home. This shit is horrific, bro. What happened? And it didn't even have to go down. Because we could have thought about a better way to handle it. So yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter because we quick to anger when it comes to each other, but we sit there and think when it's somebody else. Now all of a sudden we don't want the book to be thrown at us, and it's sad because when we commit these acts, because they don't matter, when we commit these violent acts towards each other and it don't matter. Sad to say, just like with those officers with Nichols, we stand a greater chance to get off. We get off with each other than with them. We got a greater chance, and that's the way it's set up. That's real spill.
I don't see. I agree. But I just gotta say this, man, because bottom line is you gotta be very mindful of how you talk to people. You would expect cordial and amicable responses where we just both walk away unscathed, but you still got to be considerate of how you talk to people. I don't care who you are. Like you just can't talk to people however you want. 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, Don't matter. You can't just talk to people however you want, man. Like I said, she should still be alive. The
Yeah,
words,
that's still no excuse to unalive her. Um, I agree with you, but that respect that you talking about, that shit go both ways. So just because she the manager, yeah, the respect go both ways. They're growing at the end of the day. It's just a title. We're grown. She's a adult woman, and she was an adult woman. We had a disagreement. Let's be adults and talk about it. You 26, she 39. Like, what's up? Like, what's the real problem? Let's get it out the way. Are we gonna go along and get along, or are we gonna are we gonna put it on the table real quick? And if you don't like me or like how I'm running the establishment, you can leave my store. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it like that. There's ways to do it. It ain't gotta end like that. Now, she never came to her, going back to these brutal incidents, and she never came and assaulted her or punched that girl in the face. She didn't do that. It was more like a defense. She coming at her, so yeah, she swung on that girl. You damn right she swung on her. I mean, you came at me. What I supposed to do? That's different, bro.
you know what?
So,
You know what kind of bothers me? Nobody even tried to stop that shit though.
okay, I hear you because I thought about that too. But you gotta remind yourself, okay, for one, because I spoke about the Waffle House. Arguments happen all the time in these fast foods, bro. Somebody just might have a bad day and then they cursing at each other. Somebody might, like you say, somebody might get sent home or whatever. It be times where the customer is about to fight. Like, hey, it happens. All that happens in the fast food. My thing is when she came back with that weapon, bro. Come on, people not gonna step in there unarmed and risk their life and get hit. You see what I'm saying? The woman was psycho. She was enraged and she was coming back and coming directly at her. Somebody would have stepped in there, they could have got hit too. Now, the only thing they said that happened was somebody had a weapon that was there. Um, I think a custom or something, and he shot the weapon. That's what he tried to do to stop her from doing that, to scare the girl, and then he held her at gunpoint so she wouldn't get away, but she didn't stop. So that was the only attempt that I heard for her to try to stop doing what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a weapon and she had one, shoot, that changed the game. That wasn't fair.
Nothing fair about this. The sad part is I don't even think people really understand the message. What I'm getting at is treat those that you want to treat you the way that you would. You just your attitude, your shitty life or whatever, it does not have nothing to do with me. Don't take your stuff out on me. Treat people equal. Don't treat them like animals. They are just as important to this establishment as you are. Uh, Better screening, therapy. I think there's a number of things that need to be imparted. This is embarrassing, though. To me, it's extremely embarrassing. Another black person crashing out in front of all of these white people and Asians and all that. Another black person showing that they don't know how to control themselves. We were right about them niggers. Yep, we sure were. They don't. That's why they'll never have anything. That's why they can never get along. This right here.
That
They
part.
keep they keep doing the same shit. Why we over here making legislations and building communities and gentrifying these neighborhoods, they steadily doing this. It's embarrassing. Black lives don't matter to people. Only when it's convenient.
Yeah, only when it's on when the shoe is on the other foot, and that's the crazy part. But everybody supposed to come together then. But you can't even have a fucking simple um, conversation and talk about a disagreement without somebody taking the motherfucking words the wrong way, and then you got to be on defense mode. Now it escalated all because you ain't like my words and shit. I might have said something and you ain't like my words, so now you want to take it to the next level, and that's the difference right there. That next level, the way we crash out on each other, we don't do that to everybody else. You ain't ever hear no black person smash an Asian off or something like that, or you know they ran over a white person or something like that. They don't take the violence to that level with them. See what I'm saying? Because they know they're gonna be done. That's why. So they got some type of remorse, but when it comes to us against each other, yeah, it's no remorse. It's a lot of hate. It's a lot of jealousy, and at the end of the day, we need to learn that lesson first. We need to learn that lesson first. And just like I'm in this work field, you in this work field too. So let's keep the main thing the main thing. You know what I'm saying? You an adult like, and I'm an adult too. So just like you don't want me to disrespect you, I'm not gonna allow you to disrespect me either. That's just what it is. So we need to learn that lesson first. And another thing, some of them youngers, they said some of them youngers do be lazy in them establishments, man. Like you up here trying, it's kind of like she was babysitting her kids a little bit. There's no difference than when she probably at home with her kids and she getting them to do their chores and shit and they arguing. Shit like that. This is a job, bro. We can't do that here. You actually getting paid. You on the clock. So we ain't got time for all that. This is a place of business. We're gonna take care of business, then we go home. And then another thing is when you clock out, guess what? We gotta learn to leave the job where the job at, people. Stop taking your job home with you. You got a life outside the job because at one point your ass didn't even work there. Think about it like that. You didn't even know none of them people that you so crazy about, or angry and shit about. You ain't know none of them. And if you leave, you ain't gonna be dealing with them no more. You're gonna be at another level in your life. So we gotta keep that in mind too. You don't have to be all stressed out. I know some jobs can stress you out, but you can't let a job stress you out. You cannot let a job stress you out. You gotta start choosing you over all that shit. Because if you get stressed out, then guess what's gonna happen? Then you ain't gonna perform good. then everybody gonna start talking about you, and then your ass gonna be booted out the door. So you gotta keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the focus on you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to, if you can't handle a discussion, you know, in a work environment, then that's your loss. Because there's a lot of people in there that know how to do that, and they're way more professional, and they're more mature because it comes with their maturity than other workers. Then you got young high school kids be up in there. Maybe they might be doing 3 or 4 hours. What about that? That's some scary shit. You got that going on with your kid, around your kid, bro. Your daughter might be in there, your son. They just trying to, get a little extra money for their prom or whatever going on like that, and they see something like that. That's something to think about if you're a parent. You might gotta go another way, cut some grass or something. Cause that ain't it in there. They can't control grown people getting mad at each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many fries you done dropped today. Drop another one.
Sensational.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know what them conversations be like, and if you put a young kid in that, you got different age groups in this people getting treated on different levels in a situation like that. We want to all be treated the same. You know what I'm saying? The expectation should be the same. I expect you to be here. I expect you to know what you're doing. I expect you to do your job, and I expect you to manage everything right and don't show no favoritism. And you know what I'm saying? Make sure we have what we supposed to have, because there'll be some favoritism going on in this shit. People getting drug out. Like you said in the opening joint, people feel like they getting dogged out. They doing more work. Other person getting a free check. Like, look at all of that. Don't just come over here and point my shit out. I can point everybody else shit.
Exactly.
So that's why meetings need to happen, so you can get that off your chest. Now, if you don't want to get it off your chest, then you go ahead and keep taking it then. But that's your time to get it off. And if you ain't gonna do it like that, then you need to go in there and express your grievances to the manager, whoever can make the change. And if not, like you spoke about, go over their head and take it to corporate. It's other, escapes and procedures you can do to, get your point across without having to take it there. Physical violence, people, is not the way. That comes from a mentality, the way that young lady was brought up, and she saw a lot of violence, and that's all that is. But you can't take the violence, you can't take it into the workforce, into a professional environment like that. You got to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? We got to think.
Yo, it's bad enough they slave us for 40, 50, 60 years of our life. You taking it out on the wrong people. All that anger and hatred and all that shit has been institutionalized in you. You weren't born like that. Bro, when you was 8, 9 years old, were you stressed out? Were you angry at other black people? Did you hate the world? No. You wanted to watch cartoons and play outside and all that shit. You wasn't stressed over no bills and worried about equity and your fucking taxes and all that shit. This system did this shit to us, man. Old girl said to me, man, she gonna be working the rest of her life because she can't afford. You wasn't here. She's like 64 now. She said she gonna be working the rest of her life because she can't afford health insurance. She's not gonna be able to take care of herself without some type of insurance if she retires. She fucked. Can you imagine 60, 70 years old still working? These people don't give a shit about us, man. Everybody seems to be miserable, bro. If you ain't working for yourself, you miserable. You ain't happy. And that's a part of the mental breakdown. That's why a lot of people are the way they are now, man. You can't be comfortable. You can't afford to. So when you be saying, man, you better live your life, I understand that shit. You better shit. These bills gonna be here either or. You can go on a vacation; they're still gonna be waiting for you. Shit, you might as well enjoy this life while you can. I get that, but then in the same breath, it's like, well, shit. I still gotta have a roof over my head too. A lot of this shit is why people are miserable. But I digress, man. I digress. I think we'd be better off if we used our anger and frustrations and redirected it into something that's actually productive and would give us positive results. Instead of taking that anger and all that, use that shit and put it into something that's going to make you money or bring people closer. Just a thought, though.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. We really gotta be mindful of, like you said, what we say to people. Um, Supervisors, like you spoke about. Managers.
Shit's a lot. Way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, we just gotta be we just gotta remember, man, that people is not perfect. It's not no perfect people out here, man. We all fall short sometimes, and I just think when you're in a work environment that you have to communicate, one, and then you have to give up some support too. People need communication and support, man, because this life that everybody trying to live, it ain't no easy road. It is some bumps in the road. Everybody have a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? There's no way out of that. So with that being said, people should have some understanding. Now you got some people in these positions, and they might don't have a heart. Some people don't even have a heart. They don't care. Some people don't even care to know you on that level. They just treat it the strictly business, and you know what I'm saying. Your issues is your issues. Then you got some people that will reach out and let you know that they dealing with pretty much something similar as you, and y'all kind of get an understanding, and you know what I'm saying, and build a connection, build a little relationship out of that. So you got it depending on the person, man, and the character of that person. I can't sit up here and say that you don't have assholes in these positions, because you do, but they're not all assholes. And you just gotta, determine that when you come across that. But outside of that, man, I think that's what's missing in these work environments, man. We have to talk, and we have to kind of see what people's at in their head, because like you said, a lot of people be dealing with something, and they just one incident away of blowing the whole school up or something, So you don't know what somebody dealing with if they don't tell you. So that's something to keep in mind, and stay on the edge with that, man, because like my man said, today can be the day, and that's it.
My condolences to the family again.
Same here. I believe she had what, five daughters and one son, I believe, but she had 6 kids, man, and it's a monster. It's hard trying to raise one, and she was doing it with 6. So, man, that's just sad, bro.
Ain't no job worth losing your freedom over. If you ain't happy where you are, go somewhere where you will be celebrated. Go somewhere
Right.
where you will be happy at. But under no circumstances, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to compromise yourself for that, it's probably not worth it.
At all.
Any last thoughts? Any last words before we get up out of here?
Yeah, like you touched on, man. I'm just praying for the family, for the families of both, because even though it wasn't mentioned in the news or whatever, I'm pretty sure the young girl had a family too, and she's need prayers on her end as well. But definitely praying for the kids, man. Hopefully, praying for healing, and they need a lot of support at this point. It's just, hopefully we see better days, bro. But that goes to show you how, once again, how we are viewed, and how we looked at. So keep that in mind. We are considered, we considered the underdogs, man. And the underdogs got to be on top one day.
I agree. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to everybody who pulled up tonight, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I did fix my link on Twitter in my bio. The one that I had originally was my link tree connecting you to my shop and all of my other spots that I have. I took that one off. It was glitching. I just put my YouTube directly in my bio. So if anybody wants to keep in contact, you're more than welcome to click on there, hit the button real quick. If you got a channel that you are running and you're active, I'll follow back. I'm all about supporting and reciprocity. But as far as this story go, I know this ain't gonna be the last time we hear something about this. I just wish that stories like this would reach the audience that it needs to, particularly the men and women who are taking these jobs on. Y'all the ones that's taking our orders and serving our food, and you're the ones that got to deal with the customers on a regular basis. You need to see this and hear this and be a part of these discussions, The supervisors need to be a part of these, especially. We take y'all for granted. We do. Y'all just as important as the rest of society is. But yeah, we about to get up out of here. We'll be back tomorrow to close out the weekend. If you have any questions, comments, any discussions you might want to see held up here, if you want to join a panel, email me right there. I'll definitely lock in. You want to support in any type of way, any small gesture would be dope. A thumbs up would be dope. The algorithm, I want the algorithm to know what the hell is going on over here. I'm on their helmet all year. I've been saying that shit since January. But yeah, man, salutes, bro. Appreciate you for pulling up.
Salutes, man. Salutes.
Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. We up out of here.
McDonald's, don't fuck my order up. I want my food right. Don't fuck my order up, McDonald's.